What's up, everybody? Talking Tuesday, Cleveland. We're still working on the name. I got to get better at saying that. That was rusty. That was rusty. Talking Cleveland Tuesdays. There we go. There we go. As always, great Ohio show featuring one of the greatest unknown cities in the United States. We like to incorporate the food and the sports and all the goodness along with everything. Here's our tonight's sponsors for tonight's show. First, Whitney Bourbon without Cleveland whiskey. All the shots are all drawn out of Cleveland. Unique styles. Check out the Christmas bourbon come out with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame edition. We got Brandt's Barbecue out of Lakewood, Ohio. The mustard sauce, Fieldhouse Mustard, won the silver in overall mustard competition this year. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Also, don't forget about Brandt. It's barbecue, it's ranch, it's amazing. And also Redbeard Seasoning out of Willard, Ohio. More than just Charlie Fry. Guy got coming on, he probably knows a thing or two about that guy. But right out of Willard, Redbeard Seasoning. Check out the new lineup, new look, same great flavors. Right out of Willard, Ohio. We love them. We love them. I know I love them. We got them everywhere. Don't forget about the new Wild Game Rub that's out too. It's freaking amazing. But without further ado, it's Talking Cleveland Tuesday. We need someone that knows a lot more about Cleveland at a much higher level. I had to bring out the big guns. You know, we can't just bring in just anybody. You know, we got the bar set high. I'm real excited about this guest. We almost had him on last year. We decided not to do anything until this year because we had this great new show coming out. And we're really happy to have him. He was a one-time team in the NFL from 99 to 2007. So he was with us from the ground up. Even though he's from Southern California, so USC, the son of an all-pro NFL running back for the Los Angeles Rams, and a third generation going to the University of Washington. He's a Husky. But our guest of honor tonight, Daylon, Cutch. He's got 30 names. They're all awesome. Daylon McCutcheon. What's up, man? How are we doing?
What's going on, Tony, man? I appreciate you having me, man. I've been looking forward to doing this for a while.
Oh, man, we're going to lie right off the rip. That's cool. I feel bad for you if that's how you really live, man. I'm looking at that house like, no, you're good, man. Yeah, you're fine, man. We're happy you took time to come, man.
Look, if I'm not doing this, my wife going to put me to work. So trust me, I'm looking forward to doing this.
Hey, man, I got till at least 5 o'clock the next morning, man. How much time you need, man? I got the couch right here. I got my bottle of Cleveland whiskey. I mean, we're ready. We're ready. We're ready.
I appreciate it.
No, so are you in California right now, or are you on the west side? I see it's sunny out there.
Yeah, no, man. I'm in LA. I'm in LA. The weather is great out here. I think it was about 80 degrees. I actually just got back. I spent about 3 weeks in Seattle. You know, like you said, my son's up at the University of Washington, so spent some time up there checking out the Huskies. But it's good to be back home.
And I'm not gonna lie, I have not kept up with the Huskies. How are they looking this year?
Man, the Huskies are on fire right now. They're 4-0.
Oh,
coaching staff that came in, and they got a big time quarterback that's slinging that thing around, man. So they got a good thing going right now, man. They're on fire.
That's awesome, man. And what a good thing for your son to get a little taste of success, because like his dad, when he got to that next level, there wasn't always success as a team from 99, man. You came in a franchise situation, which I'm sure had its trials and tribulations. New coaching staff, first time doing everything, man. A lot of pressure, but probably a lot of fun though too. We'll get into all that, but you started out. You're the son of an All-Pro. At the time he retired, he was the leading rusher in Rams history. Is that correct? Before Eric Dickerson came around.
Yeah. My dad, Lawrence McCutcheon, good player for the Rams. Had a great career. I think he played 10 seasons. And, I think for us, just being a McCutcheon, he kind of set the bar. So, I just always went on the field, and I always just played hard just because I wanted to prove, not just to everyone else, just to myself, that I was making my own name. And I know the McCutcheon's it's a rare name, so it just brought a lot of attention. But I just went out there, and like I said, I always just wanted to prove that that I could play on my own.
So let's talk about that real quick because you said you want to create a name for yourself, and your son Dyson has to do the same thing now because
Yeah.
now he's the third generation. You're talking about you had pressure. He's got two NFL pedigrees to live up to, and both you and your dad, both in a very small percentage, to last longer than 5 years in the NFL, let alone with the same team. You guys are probably like less than 1% in the overall history of that.
Yeah.
So you had to create your own name. So you're the first guy we've had on here that was, the second generation guy. What's that like as a kid growing up with an NFL dad that was, back then a lot more time away from home than the players get today, and probably what even you got to do? What was that like? I mean, obviously you grew up wanting to be like your dad, or you were just like, listen, I could probably make a lot of money using his genetics to benefit my life, But but so what was that like as a kid? Did you want to be like him? Did it kind of just work out that way organically? Did you have a choice? I mean, what's that all like?
Yeah, well, I think just like anything, it has its pros and cons. I think that people like I said, it's because of the name. Also, it's not just like Smith or Thomas. Like there's a million of those or whatever. But McCutcheon, it was like, especially growing up in LA, everyone tied me automatically, to him. And my mom would get frustrated because when I went on the field, they would call me Lawrence McCutcheon, and so
Oh
she
no.
she was like, she wanted me to be my own person and for them to, respect me for me being me. So, like I said, I guess it opened up some doors where that other people probably didn't get a chance to, but at the same time, it added a lot of pressure. And so, for me, I always took it in stride, man. I think it was, like I said, it was good and bad to it. But I enjoyed, the extra little attention. And like I said, I think it gave me extra motivation when I stepped on the field because I didn't want people to just go out there and say, "Oh, look, he's a good player. That's Lawrence McCutcheon's son." I wanted them to feel it. I wanted them to see me play. I wanted to see me make plays and understand that I was doing my own thing. So, like I said, I think it was a good experience.
Well, you were obviously an athletic freak because even at the USC level, they thought you were good enough to play both a little bit of offense, even though you were there to play cornerback, even though you did like 2,600 rushing yards your senior year of high school or something stupid, right?
Yeah.
Not that I did any Wikipedia research at all for this at all. None. That was just
Hey,
a roundabout number I pulled out, left field there.
you know what? I did. I ran the ball a little bit in high school, and I had some success. But I'm telling you, and look, I don't tell everyone this, but I didn't like getting hit. You know what I'm saying? So everyone asked me, they said, "What was your secret? How'd you run for so many yards?" I just ran away from people because I didn't like getting hit. It was very
I ran for my life.
yeah, exactly. That guy wanted to kill me, so I'm gonna run faster than him. It was very simple. But you know what? When I went to the next level, when I went to USC, they gave me opportunity. They said, "Look, where do you want to play?" And it was a couple things that went into it. I felt like I would probably get it was probably a little less competition, at corner. They had some voids over there, so they said, "Look, we're not going to give you anything, but you probably will play a little sooner if you play corner." And I sat down with my dad at one point because my dream from day one, from when I was younger, was to play in the NFL. And so I asked him straight up, "Look, where do you think I have a better chance to, make it to that level?" And he told me corner. And for me, that was it. I bought into playing corner, and I was going to become the best corner I could be.
Right. Well, you probably watched your dad just get beat to a pulp back when he played, man, as a running back. 10 years as a running back in like what, the 80s? Was that when he played?
We played 71 to 81, so it was like mainly the 70s.
Mainly 70s.
Yeah,
Oh, even worse. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. He probably played with like torn meniscus, his
Oh
ACL,
man,
bone on bone.
and the equipment they had, man, there's no way I could have played in that stuff. No way I could have played in that stuff. But yeah, I just didn't like getting hit, so it was an easy decision for me.
Okay. Um, so I don't blame you, man. I like playing defensive line instead of offensive line because there's no glory in offensive line. Not that you would guess. And I'm not going to sit there. I sucked. Like, don't sit there. Like, I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. I was really bad. Believe it or not an athletic specimen.
Now okay, okay. I
Didn't.
love the honesty, man. I love the honesty.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, dude, is there anything more worse than when some dude comes up to you and he's like, I'll get letters from Stanford, USC, and he's like 5'7", buck 80, like, no, come on, man, like. that beer gut looks like it says that you might have got a letter from Rio Grande, Ohio, JUCO. You know,
Yeah, there's a lot of Al Bundys out there, man. A lot of
Al Bundy's. I love the reference. Hell yeah, that's a Dude Network thing right there. I love it. I love it. Oh man. So you're coming out of USC, second team All American. You know you're going to go pretty high in the draft. Did you have any idea it was going to be Cleveland? I mean, I'm assuming you can testify to this or verify my thought process here. When there's a franchise team coming in, you know that they need everything. So did you always think that Cleveland was going to be in the mix for you? Or were there some other teams like, hey, second round, we might jump up and get you? Was there some other teams in the mix? Or did you always have a feeling that it was going to be Cleveland?
Yeah. To be honest, Cleveland had shown a lot of interest, but I had no idea it was going to be Cleveland. There were other teams that showed more interest than them. So that was one of the last teams I thought that was going to come after me. I grew up a Bronco fan. My mom is from Denver. A majority of my mom's side of the family is from Denver. So I grew up a Bronco fan.
Dad went to Colorado State.
Yeah, Dad went to. So my parents met at Colorado State. So I grew up Colorado everything. So I was excited that the Broncos were showing so much interest. So the Broncos were showing interest. I'm like, oh, that would be awesome. Go to Denver, be able to play in front of all my family.
Win a couple Super Bowls.
Oh yeah, no, they came off the Super Bowl in like '97 or something like that. I was '99 draft, so in '97 they had just won the Super Bowl, so they were one of the top teams out there. The Chargers were showing a lot of love, so I was like, all right, cool, that's Southern California, that'd be awesome. So draft day comes, I'm getting calls from the Chargers, I'm getting calls from the Broncos. I'm like, man, this is dope, it's perfect, and all of a sudden my phone rings. And it's Chris Palmer from Cleveland. And he's like, hey, this is Chris Palmer. How'd you like to be a Brown? And I was like, what? I said, man, look, I would love to be a Brown. At that point, to be honest, I was a little disappointed, not because of who was drafting me, but I had been told that I would be a late first rounder, early second round. So at this time, it's middle of the second round. It's late. It's getting into the late second round. So I'm pissed off. I'm pissed that I just haven't got picked yet. So when he called me, I said, look, hell yeah, I'll play for the Browns. I'll play for anyone right now. Let's go. And so, like I said, at the end of the day, it was a blessing. I was excited. It was a lifelong dream for me to play in the NFL. So once I got picked, it was tons of emotions that, man, I finally had accomplished that, man. It was awesome.
So did you have to start Googling, like, what did you know about Cleveland before Cleveland drafted you, being from California? Did USC ever play anywhere close to Ohio? I mean, there's no colleges in Cleveland, but maybe you played Ohio State during that stretch, Pitt, something.
So look, man, honest truth. I sat there. I'm at my girlfriend now, my in-law. So I'm at their house on draft day. After I get picked, I literally asked my father-in-law, I said, look, man, break out a map. I had no idea where Ohio was. I knew it was far, but I needed to know exactly where I was going. So he breaks out the map and he's like, look, it's way over there. And I'm like, oh my God.
You can't get there from here, man. That's what he was telling you.
Yeah, so I had no idea. I had never been to Ohio before. Probably the closest I played, at SC, we played against Notre Dame. So Indiana, I mean, I think that's the closest, and probably weather-wise, that was the closest that I had played anything like that.
Oh man, welcome. And then not only there. Hey, someone's trying to call you on your extended warranty.
I see.
I'm trying to reach you for a minute. And not only did you get put in Ohio, man, you got put on Lake Erie in a stadium that was purposely designed to let air in for a home field advantage. So,
man,
you got a bad end of the deal, man, on that one.
And look, it was all bad. I remember I fly into Cleveland. It was April because I had to fly in for rookie mini camp. So it's April, and LA, I'm coming from LA, and I bet you that it was 75, 80 degrees. And I remember landing, and all I remember is there was snow still on the ground. So I get off the plane. I'm in shorts. I'm in a T-shirt. and I get off the plane and it's snow on the ground and it was freezing. I don't remember what the temperature was, but it was really cold. So I had to early wake up call really fast.
Yeah, you had to spend some of that rookie signing bonus for a big third round pick, back in '99. You went and got you like a hoodie you got you a Cleveland hoodie,
Yeah,
you got you a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame tourist hoodie to get to the stadium.
I needed gloves, I needed a beanie, I needed everything.
Oh man, yeah, it gets rough. But then, like, you're like in summertime. You're from like Southern California, and then you got to play in like 90 degrees with like being able to chew the air. So you went from you're like, oh man, everyone said it's cold, and then it went from that to like 3 months later playing in snow on frozen tundra in Cleveland.
Oh yeah,
in front of a bunch of crazy Caucasians biting on dog bones and shit. Yeah, like like,
that's so crazy.
And you're sitting there, you're like, I am not a Trojan anymore. Right?
No, it definitely wasn't LA anymore, man. Definitely wasn't
LA. So did you fit into Cleveland? Like, how long did it take for you? Okay, first off, did you enjoy your time in Cleveland? Before I sit there and start putting words in your mouth, I know this is obviously you're not going to sit there and bury the town that you probably had a good long time and started a family in and a lot of good memories. But did you like Cleveland? Did you like the people? Did you like where you lived? Were you close to everything? Was it too spread out compared to like how Southern California was? How would you compare your like first impressions of Cleveland to what maybe you were anticipating?
Yeah. I can't lie, man. When I first got there, it's a drastic change from LA. It's a drastic change. The weather is totally different. I feel like just how the city is built is very different. One of the things that I felt was very different was it was I felt like you could really tell, like, I lived in Strongsville my rookie year. So it was just like I felt like it was really segregated. And coming from LA, like it's just different, man. Like we have everything in LA. It's just like everyone's together. You have Latin, you have white, you have black, you got Asian, you got everything. And then out there it was very different, man. It was like there was like a couple blacks in that area or whatever. And if you were in that area, they knew that you were a football player. It was like, it was just different, man. So I was like, I'm walking around and I'm like, man, it's, it was a wake up call. But I would tell you this. I ended up loving the city of Cleveland, man. Just being a West Coast guy, and when I first went out there, I was out there by myself. I wasn't married. I had a longtime girlfriend, but she had stayed in LA, and so man, they welcomed me, they embraced me. I ended up, getting close to a lot of people. The neighborhood I ended up buying a house. I ended up buying a house in North Royalton. My neighbors were awesome, very supportive. I've kept in touch with them for years, and I just a lot of people that I still call friends, and some of them I feel like I consider them family. And my son was born out there, so it's just so many great memories. And I would tell you this: I've been all around the country. I played in all types of different stadiums. Some of the best and loyal fans in Cleveland. And that's what I loved about them, man. We had some up and down years. I wish we'd have won a lot more, but man, they had that place rocking, and they loved you and treated you good no matter what. And that's what it's all about.
Okay. You've kind of touched on it here a little bit. I do have a question from the crowd here. What was the one thing that was the biggest difference from California from Ohio besides the weather?
Besides the weather. Like I said, for me, I just felt like one of the biggest things was I felt like there was a lot of segregation. And like I said, I mean, that just was very different for me. I mean, I just think LA is such a melting pot. And I grew up in an area where we had everything. So I think that it was very different when I first got there. That was one of the biggest differences. I think that things are probably a little slower than LA. But I like, and also I tell you, like we have in LA, probably we have a lot of different foods. And in Cleveland, especially where I was at, it was more like steak and potatoes, man. But I mean, shoot, it was good food. Don't get me wrong, it was good, but it was the food, man. Right there, I see it. I'm betting the food. It was just, like Cleveland was steak and potatoes, man. So that was different.
You can get some damn good steaks in Cleveland.
Oh man, great steaks in Cleveland.
You're actually right on the money though, and it's still not so much different because you have like the Ukrainian village, you have the Polish village. Like everybody's welcome, but there's very like you said, like it's just pockets of here, pockets there, pockets there. There's like no intermingling, So
definitely.
We need to work on that. We're gonna work. We're gonna make it a melding pot up there. I love it. I
There
love
you
it.
go.
So yeah, meat potatoes. So you get up here. You got Cleveland. You got one, two. You had what? You had Palmer. You had Butch. You had Robisky as interim, and then you had Cornell after that. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So um, we've got some negative feedback from previous guests on there's one of those that were the least desirable than the others, and it rhymed with Schmalmer. About the little bit of the a little bit stricter than some of the others, especially during the training camp era. What was your most enjoyable coaching tenure that you got to have up there in Cleveland? You got to play for, I mean, Butch Davis, Hall of Fame college coach. You know, Romeo Cornell, still in the league, one of the all-time greats in coaching in the NFL. And then you had Palmer, you know, who some people liked a little bit of a tighter ship. Then you had the interim coach Rubisky, who maybe he just said, "Listen, we're here to just to have a good time. You know, play for your contracts, pay for your jobs, leave it all out there. Let's just enjoy it." Which one of those coaching tenures was the most enjoyable for Kutch?
The most enjoyable for me, without a doubt, was under Butch Davis. And Butch, like I said, I didn't really have a lot of direct ties to Butch. I mean, I thought he was an okay guy. And I'd be straight up. I'm gonna always be honest, man. One of the biggest reasons why I enjoyed that tenure, it was because of Todd Bowles. You know, he was my position coach, and I loved Todd. You know,
Okay.
I feel like he had, especially in my NFL career, he probably had the biggest impact on me, as a person, as a player. So I just learned so much from him, and still to this day, we're really good friends. He's someone that I look up to, and so, like I said, I don't want to I don't want to take everything away from Butch, but I would say that tenure because of Todd,
Well, your assistant coaches, like, I mean, verify this. The head coach in the league, you have more relationship with your position coach than the head coach, right?
without a doubt.
Because the head coach is more of like the overall supervisor. What's the percentage of interaction or meeting time where the head coach is actually present in an NFL practice facility?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure different places are a little different, but it's like, most days you're gonna have a team meeting in the morning, and so it's like you might interact with your head coach for, I don't know, probably 10, 15 minutes tops, maybe in the morning, and then the majority of the day, I mean, you're watching film and you're doing all those other position meetings. You're talking about hours and hours. Those are with your position coaches. So other than your head coach talking to you in a team meeting, and then maybe he might talk to you, maybe throughout the practice if he has something to talk to you about, and then after practice, he might say something about how the practice went. But that's he's speaking to the whole team. You're interacting with that position coach on a daily basis for hours. So there's a very big difference.
Serious question here. So when the media says the coach has lost the locker room, is that bullshit, or have the assistant coaches lost their groups? What's more true?
I think it can be both, but I think there's definitely times where a head coach has lost his team, and I would tell you like this: majority of players, they might not like what a coach has to say, but they will respect the truth. So, like, we're all men at that level. So when a coach comes in your face and he's talking in front of a team, and if he's bullshit and everyone feels like he's full of shit and he's not being straight up with you, then those are ways where you're going to start going down that path where they won't respect you and you're going to lose your team.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. You know what's funny is I never really thought of it like that until we got to talking about the Art Bulls. And by the way, if you're that close with him, I know he doesn't have a lot going on right now, so tell him I'm available next Tuesday if he wants to hop on for just a half
I,
hour.
I'll
I
pass.
know he's got 15 minutes just laying around. He ain't doing nothing. He ain't doing nothing. I didn't even realize that Bulls was on the staff in Cleveland.
Yeah, no, he was. I can't remember. I can't tell you exactly how many years. I want to say maybe for 3 or 4 years. I think he was my position coach. But we had Todd. I mean, we had lots of solid assistants there, whatever. But our secondary room under Todd, I mean under Butch, it was Bowles and Chuck Pagano. they were the two. Chuck coached the safeties, and
Yeah.
Todd was the corner and nickel coach. So we had both of them at the same time.
Damn. Well, they say you ain't coached in the NFL until you got fired from Cleveland, so they got that.
Damn.
They say that, man. It's bad, but there's first. Hey, not anymore. We're models of consistency, except for the quarterback position. We're models of consistency.
I got you.
So, all right, man. Kind of leaded to it here. Browns 2-1. Should have been 3-0. They got flaccoed. They got flaccoed. That was a heartbreaker. You're a secondary guy. Defensive line seems to be really solid. The linebacker core is dinged up a little bit. A, have you watched the Browns this year? And two, the secondary of the defense seems to be the thing that Joe Woods needs to fine tune and dial in from a fan's perspective, because I certainly don't know what the hell I'm talking about much more than that. But have you watched the games, and would you agree that the secondary needs to step it up a little bit, that there's a little bit left, little meat on the bone for them to improve on? And, what are your thoughts on what they can do to improve it if they are underperforming?
Yeah, I have watched. I watched most of the Jets game, so I saw them give that game away at the end. I definitely, I had to watch the Pittsburgh game, and
That's
so,
right.
that was a big win. And so I do agree. I think they have a good thing going up front. I think they've been able to stop the run, and they've been able to create pass rush. I think the linebackers are playing okay. I think that one of the reasons why there's so much people are going after the secondary is because I think of the expectations. I like a lot of the players that they got back there. Some of them are young, and sometimes it takes a little time to gel and build that chemistry. I like Denzel Ward. I like the way he competes. I think he's a athletic guy. I think he's one of those guys that can be one of the top corners in the game. I like Newsome. I like Williams. I think Delpit. I like him at a safety. And then I think you add Johnson at safety, a veteran guy. So I think they have the pieces back there. So I think when you have the athletes and you got players like that, there's expectations. And everyone's going to expect them to take that next step. Don't be good. They want them to take that next step where they can be one of the elite secondaries in the NFL.
Yeah, Johnson was on record saying after that Jets game, communication was a key, and a lot of people he was basing it toward the younger Delpit, who got let a couple guys get behind him there down the stretch. Again, that just happens, but there's a lot of times though it is communication, right? Someone's like, "Oh, he got torched." It's like, nah, he just made the wrong adjustment at the line, or guessed wrong, or the communication wasn't is. You're out there, NFL experience, man. You know way more than any of us. How much is communication the key to defensive secondary to performing at a very high level in the NFL?
Man, it's huge. It's huge. I mean,
more than talent, or what's more important, communication or above average talent?
Oh man, well, because I have an old coach, my DB coach at USC, Dennis Thurman. I love him to death. I think he's one of the best defensive coaches in the game. He would always say, "I can't make chicken salad out of chicken shit." So when you ask me that question, sometimes it's tough because I can't sit there and say it. If you had a bunch of horrible players, if you're just great communicators, are you going to be a good secondary? Nah, you're not going to be a good secondary.
Hey, I was clinging to the full slope, man. We're Browns fans. We always keep it positive.
If you communicate all you want, you're still probably going to be bad. But I will say this. You could have a bunch of talented players out there, and if you cannot communicate, you're going to have a bad secondary. It doesn't work. You have to be able to communicate and be on the same page. And I'm telling you, when I was in Cleveland, I know, like I said, sometimes record-wise it didn't look, the best, but we had one of the top secondaries for a while there. It was Earl Little, it was Anthony Hendry, it was Lee Biden, it was Robert Griffith. I mean, we had some of the top secondaries under Todd and Chuck. So I think one of the things that we did so well, we got the ball, we took the ball away, so we were taking the ball away, so which is huge. But one of the things that we did the best was we communicated. Guys really cared about each other. We spent a lot of time during the offseason together. And it was like, man, there was times where I could just look at Earl or Anthony could look at guys or whatever. And it's like, boom, we was on the same page. We knew what each other were thinking. And that's just about bonding, man, and building that and putting in that time during the offseason.
No, that's awesome, man. So you think the Browns? I mean, you've watched the defense, though. I mean, you watched the squad. I mean, I know it's like. Luckily, Brissett seems to be really putting it together and being a nice leader on that offensive side. And obviously, when you have a running game built around Chubb, Hunt, and people keep forgetting we got Ernest Johnson is chilling over there waiting on his turn too. And so you watch the team offensive, defensively, special teams, roller coaster, but seems to be trending upward. Got a good kicker, first one that seems the most promising since your teammate Dawson. What's the team looking like, in your opinion, without Watson? These 11 games, everyone expects them, and Watson better be good with the amount of money he's getting guaranteed after that comes week 12. You wish you had contracts like that back in '99, huh?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, fully guaranteed, fully.
Yeah.
Fully.
Hey, I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him. But like you said, and the expectations are high, man. He better go out there and be ready to go when he gets back.
I have a theory on this. You ready? General manager Chess, that fully guaranteed money, screwed that Lamar Jackson deal all up, and now he's thinking about Bolton. I think Andrew Berry's playing chess, man. I think he's like, I can't beat him. I'm going to get him out of the division. I'm going to guarantee the money.
I hear that.
Why not, though? Look at Matt Rule. He got 10-year contract, and he's looking like he ain't going to make it past year 3. Gruden got a 10-year contract. He didn't make it past year 3. Why the hell not, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I hear you.
Yeah. Hasn't got it. I mean, he's just getting into that slush fund from the Pilot Flying J days that he got. He got some. He didn't take all of it when they found the raided the office. There's
yeah. Nah, man. I you know what? To be honest, I like where the Browns are at right now. I think that they obviously they can run the football, and I think that's key, especially in that division. Later in the season, you get that weather. It gets ugly. You got to be able to run the football. So I like what their offense has been able to do running the football. I think that would be huge. I think their defense, for the most part, they've been playing good defense. And so I think this is the difference when you got to finally get over the hump, is that you can't give away games like they did the Jet game. So like the good teams, they find a way to finish. So like that, you have to be able to put that game away. I think they were up by 10 or 13 with a couple minutes or whatever. You got the really good teams find ways to finish and close that out. And then, like I said, then you have to be able to step up, and your top players, and like I said, some of their top players are in the secondary. You have to be able to find a way to finish. And like I said, they had a bust in the Jet game. I think they busted it. There was one play where there was a guy wide open. Like you said, that's all communication. So I like what they're doing, but the really good teams find ways to win in those tight games. So hopefully they keep that going, and then when they get Deshaun back, hopefully he's ready to go, because as much as I love their run game, that will open up everything else. And there's going to be a time where they're going to have to win the game throwing the ball, and they're going to need someone that's going to be able to throw it.
Right. I mean, Chubb and Hunt are going to earn the 8 guys in the box. I mean, but if you don't have a passing game. You have a passing game, they can only put 7-6, and that's when Chubb and Hunt eat, right?
All day.
All day. Like an all-you-can-eat Cleveland meat and potatoes buffet. There we go. Hey, you're at a barbecue, man. You got anything you want. Dude Network's bringing it, man. We got it. We got the whole spread, man. What are you going for? We got ribs, we got brisket, we got chicken, we got pork, we got it all.
Hey, got my mouth watering over here.
Yeah, that's how we do, man. It's dude food. That's how, now you know. So what are we going for? You got all the options.
Okay. Yeah, if I have all the options, man, I gotta do the brisket. I'm a brisket guy. I gotta do the brisket. I think that's gonna be number one. I love ribs, but I gotta start with the brisket.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I knew it. Hey, man. Hey, barbecue ain't nothing without your brisket. You can have best anything, but if you turn it a shitty brisket, you're not good at barbecue.
There's nothing like a good brisket, man. And look, I have no doubt. I have no doubt that the brisket will be amazing, but my expectations are gonna be high. That's my mama. That's her brisket. That's her go-to or whatever. So you gotta beat mama's brisket.
So how did your mama do her brisket then? Did she smoke it, or did she just do it in the oven? Like, what'd she do?
Oh, no, she smoked it. No, she smoked it.
Did you guys have a pit burner at the house?
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Mom don't play, man. Mom don't play. So now look, it was
Okay.
special. It wasn't all the time. This wasn't brisket. Once a month or whatever. But that's what made it so special. Because when she did it, And man, she's all out, and you're gonna get all the fixing, man. Like, and you're
Oh,
gonna get the corn on the cob, you're gonna get the greens, you're gonna get the beans. I mean, she gonna go all out.
I'm so mad we didn't start on this topic. I'm so mad.
Hey, if we started on barbecue more
Oh,
than I ever got to the football.
don't follow me on. Don't follow the Twitter feed, man. You'll always be hungry, man. So what was the fixins then? Your mom was from Colorado, man. I'm curious on what Colorado barbecue fixins are. I mean,
Well,
I
look,
feel like
yeah, so the thing about it is, so she's an army brat, man. So she went to high school and went to college in Colorado, but she bounced out. She lived in Texas for a little while. She lived in Alaska. She bounced around all over the place.
I love
But
it.
man, she does. I mean, like I said, she does everything, man. I mean, we had the greens, we had the beans, the baked beans. I mean, she does the corn on the cob. I mean, she does it all, man. And look, and then when you're done with that. Ain't no one but could do it better. Mama's peach cobbler, man. Hey,
Oh,
game over. Game over. You in with the peach cobbler, game over.
listen, I say I got good food, and I ain't coming after your mama's peach cobbler. I know better. I want to live to see tomorrow, man. Like, I got things to do. I got things to do. Oh man, so out here, like it's blackberry cobbler because you can go pick fresh blackberries. So yeah,
Okay.
blackberry cobbler is a big thing here in Ohio. You didn't get to come far enough south down to Amish country down here where I'm at, you
Oh,
know.
yeah, I didn't get down there.
Nah, man. Next time you do, though, we're gonna hook you all up. So I gotta ask, did Mama do the fat cap up or fat cap down? Do you know?
Oh man, that's a good question. I'm about to ask Mama that next time. I'm about to
Yeah.
ask.
I need to
I'll let
report
you
back
know.
because we got to talk about that, right?
Okay,
I need to
I'll
know
let you
because
know. I'll let
the
you know.
thing, the Dude Network way that we're all in unison is fat cap up, but Myron
Okay.
Mixon, the winningest man in barbecue, he'll string you up by your tail if you sit there and say you do fat cap up instead of down.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right, I'll find out.
he gets real testy on that one, man. He gets real
Okay.
testy.
Hey, well, you gotta take your barbecue serious.
You got to. Oh man, it's like it's a labor of love all day, all day. So you got your boy. He's coming up there. So is he in that same light as you? He's trying to create his own. How much did he rely on you for advice during the recruiting process, especially now with the name, image, likeness? That was a totally. I know Earl said he had it was an eye-opening experience, learning thing with his son before he went to Bama. Did your boy have to go through the same NIL stuff, and what was that all like during the recruitment process before he chose Washington?
Yeah, man, it was the recruiting process. It was a great process. I think it was definitely a blessing for his year. It was kind of up and down because they were still going through the whole coronavirus pandemic thing or whatever. So we had to do the majority of his recruiting through Zoom. All right, so like they weren't doing visits. He wasn't able to really do any of that process. So he had started getting recruited early. So he was interacting with coaches like when they would go to his high school. But then all of a sudden, when the whole pandemic started, it was just kind of like everything was basically through text or social media and stuff like that. So I would say it was definitely a blessing because I mean, he had a lot of interest from a lot of big time schools. So it was awesome for him. But then it was when it came down to picking the school, it was kind of tough because, like I said, he wasn't most of these campuses. He hadn't been on them. The whole name, image, and likeness thing. I just told him at the end of the day, I said, look, I said, go find a school that you're going to be happy at and you really want to be. And then I said, go ball. And I said, all that other stuff will work itself out. I think to me, that was secondary. But he from early on, he told me that he wanted to do very similar to how I said, man, like kind of wanted to pave his own path. He wanted to go down make his own name. And so he had went up, he played for Snoop Dogg's youth team when he was, I believe 8th grade.
Okay.
So they had went up to Seattle and played a team up from Seattle when he was in 8th grade. And he came back and he was like, Dad, Washington. He's like, Washington. If they offer me, that's where I'm going.
That's
and
crazy.
so a couple years later, Washington pulled the trigger and offered him, and it was a dream come true for him, man. So for me, as a dad, you just want your kid happy. He was happy, I'm happy.
I mean, he had a goal, man, and he achieved it. That's like dad level $1 million on the proud factor, man.
Man,
I'm happy if my kid puts his pants on right, man. I couldn't imagine going to getting multiple D1 offers. So hey, man, I know you had a lot of career picks, you had some sacks, you had some good tackles, man. Best quarterback that you got.
Oh man, the best quarterback that I got.
It wasn't this. It wasn't this guy. It wasn't this guy.
Nah, it wasn't. It wasn't kidding. It wasn't kidding. Man, that's a tough one, man. I think the best one that I got, I would have to say, was a Peyton Manning. I think I'd have to say Peyton Manning. I got Favre too, so that one's tough. But I played against Peyton more often than I played against Favre, and so that was a big time pick for
Want
me,
to
man.
talk about Favre? He's got some things going on,
Uh,
man.
Damn, see, did I have to bring that? Did I have to say that name?
No, like I don't even want to go down there, man. Like the proof's in the pudding, man. Like he said what he said.
Yeah,
That's what he is, man. That's fine. Hey, so Peyton, yeah, but Peyton, because Favre threw a lot of picks. I mean, people forget he threw a lot of picks. So a lot of people got Favre, even though
okay.
it's still cool to pick them Hall of Famers, but not too many people got Peyton.
Man, we had some good battles. We had some tough battles with the Colts, man. I always look forward to playing against them. They had Peyton, they had Marvin Harrison, so that was a huge challenge for us. A little later on, they ended up getting Reggie Wayne. So, like I said, as a secondary guy, those are the guys you want to play against, to prove that you can go out there and battle with those guys. So, I remember being pretty excited when I was able to get Peyton, and he's always a guy that I respected a lot. So that was big time.
All right. Two quick things here. We're going to let you go because I'm sorry. I only try to keep this 30 minutes. It's been going so good. That's why I apologize. I'm going a little
No
bit
problem.
over. So, biggest moment as a Brown? Like, I know you went to the playoffs that one year. That was a heartbreaker, but you made it. You had the whole city of Cleveland in playoff atmosphere for a week. But you also had some other big wings along the way. You had some really good self accomplishments along the way as a player. Favorite memory as a Brown for Daylon McCutcheon?
Honestly, there's probably two, and for a lot of people, I think the first one, I think unless you like experience it, it's hard to understand. But my first game, my rookie year, we played in the Hall of Fame game. All right, so it wasn't even a regular season game, but
Against
it was,
Dallas. No,
yeah, it was Dallas. It was
against
Dallas.
Dallas.
You remember it? And so we're
Oh
down
man,
there. We're
I
about to play
remember it.
in the Hall of Fame game, and so like I said, this is a guy that I grew up, and my dream was to play in the NFL. All right. So it's my very first game, and I walk on the field and I look across, and my childhood idol was prime time, right? So I look across, and you got Dion, you got Emmett Smith, you got Troy Aikman, you got Leroy Irvin. So it was the boys, like the boys, the old boy, not these dudes now that are play, the boys. And so I go out there and I'm like, I'm in awe, man. I'm like, I could barely stretch and everything. So I played nickel that game. So my very first play that I lined up, I run on the field, I'm looking around, all right, I'm ready to play. And so I look up in front of me, and it's Michael Irvin. And I'm like, oh, shit is real. Shit just got real. So that was one of the most exciting things because it was just like, man, you made it. You know what I'm saying? And you're playing against the guys, like the real guys. So that was the first one. And then the second one, you mentioned it, man. I think just coming from where we started, being an expansion team and struggling so much early. So to play a couple years and finally go to the playoffs and be able to compete. And it was against our rival, the Steelers. So we all know that the game didn't end up how the way that we wanted to, but I always wanted to play on that stage. I wanted to make it to the playoffs and try to make a run. And so, it's not about me, but I got 2 picks in that game. So it was just about like playing in big time games that mattered and be able to make plays, out there in front of those fans. So those are probably the 2 biggest memories for me.
Absolutely. Hey, those are two good. I remember y'all won that game against Dallas, and I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
I was still I mean, I didn't know what I didn't at the time. I didn't realize preseason meant absolutely nothing. But I thought we won the Super Bowl, man. Because I was cheering for the damn Jaguars. Kid out of
Oh,
the
no.
Cleveland area cheering for the Jaguars because I like Mark Brunell and he was a lefty and could just throw the ball over the moon, man.
Oh, yeah, no, he was a
They
good.
had McCardell too. They had Keenan. He was an old Brown. So
Yeah,
you had to cheer for him, man. That was a fun squad. And like the second year they were like in the AFC Championship game, so that was all cool. Because then we're like, man, we're getting our team back. Like that could be us. That could be us.
yeah.
So okay, last thing here, man. Something was made to my attention over the weekend, and it's really creepy. It's really creepy. It involves Tom Brady. You ready for this?
Okay.
Dude, I got questions. Look at this photo. I hope you can see it. Like, have you seen these?
What?
Dude, these are real photos of Tom Brady. Like, I gotta bring this to your attention.
No, I've never seen these pictures.
I've seen the one with Bill and Bob Kraft, but man, it's just like a lot of people and his kids. Like, I got questions. I got questions.
Look, this don't happen very much with me, man. But I'm speechless. I've never seen any of those pictures before. I don't know what to say about any of them.
I just want you to remember the interview on that note, if anything else. Like, that was a waste of 45 minutes of my life, but the dude put an image in my head I'll never forget.
Oh, man.
Well, hey, man, I appreciate you so much for coming on here, man. You're obviously welcome at any time. But hey, man, cheers to you. Just this little shot. Appreciate you coming on here and spending some time with us. Always smooth, even like when you was picking Peyton, man.
Well, look, man, Tony, I appreciate you having me. Like I said, I look forward to this, man. I love being there to talk about Cleveland, talk about the Browns. And I'm gonna take you up on your offer, man. The next time I come out to Cleveland, I'm gonna take you on the offer. I gotta get some of that barbecue.
I got you, man. Seriously, I'm waiting on someone to like actually hit me up because it's a 90-minute drive. Give me 2 days heads up. You'll get it.
Sounds good, man. I appreciate it.
All right, dudes and dudettes. A man that knows Cleveland, a man that came from California, but now loves Cleveland. It's in his brain. He's just like this T-shirt. It's on his sleeve. Daylon, Cuddy. Like, oh, I forgot to tell you the Earl Little thing, man. My bad. Okay. I've got to ask. Oh, I'm so sorry. This will be real quick. Real quick. So Earl told me to ask him a question. He said, ask him on the show about his very nice dog he had in Cleveland and ask him what was the dog's name.
So
I'm so sorry I forgot to ask this. I would have been so mad. I would have been so mad. So my bad. We'll get to that wrap up next.
So me and my wife, we had a dog, and there was a miniature pincher. So I don't know if you know what that is. It's like a Doberman, but I mean he was about 10 pounds.
An ankle biter.
Oh, look. One of the best dogs I had, but he was one of the meanest dogs I ever had. And so we named the dog. His name was Cleveland. Man, he was an awesome dog. Awesome dog. So the dog's name was Cleveland. He was a min pin. I loved him. One of the best dogs we ever had.
I love it, man. I love the name, and that's why we love you, man. You were a fan favorite of all of ours here. We all love watching you, and we love watching that memorial run there you guys had with Kelly Holcomb and Couch reading you the whole way. Ladies and gentlemen, dudes and dudettes, once again, this time for real. I don't have anything else to say. Daylon, McCutcheon. Yeah, Daylon McCutcheon.
Thank you. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. Dog check. Oof.